Welcome to KYC Media News. We bring you the greatest and most up-to-date news of the day, and we invite you to stay tuned. A brutal attack in China. Germany gets back to coal. South Korea launches space satellites. South Korea said on Tuesday, June 21st, it had effectively sent off its local space rocket and put a payload into space in a Goliath jump for the nation's mission to turn into a high-level spacefaring country. The Korea Satellite Launch Vehicle 2, nicknamed Nuri and decorated with the South Korean banner, took off at 4 p.m. from the send-off site in Gohung on the southern coast, following a segment of fire. Every one of the three phases of the rocket worked, taking it to its objective height of 700 kilometers, and it effectively isolated an exhibition confirmation satellite and put it into space, Seoul said. South Korea's space program has taken a Goliath jump forward, said Lee Jong-ho, priest of science and innovation, adding he pronounced the mission a triumph. South Korea has now turned into the seventh country on the planet to send off a space vehicle with local innovation, he said, adding the public authority would proceed with its journey to turn into a high-level spacefaring country. South Korea will send off a moon orbiter in August, Lee added. A brutal attack in China. 2 of the 4 female casualties remain hospitalized 11 days after a gathering attack in northern China that ignited cross-country shock, specialists said Tuesday, as they declared the terminating of 1 police official and an examination concerning the treatment of criminal cases by the neighborhood police. The Hebei Region Public Security Department said top-to-bottom examinations are being completed into the sluggish reaction to episodes and serious infringement of regulations and discipline by police in the city of Tangshan, which is around 150 kilometers, 100 miles, east of Beijing. The attack raised worry about open security and the abuse of ladies in the public arena. A huge number of individuals remarked after recordings of the assault were posted on the web, many calling for equity. Police showed up at the scene 28 minutes after they got the report, and the harmed had been shipped off the emergency clinic when they showed up, commonplace specialists said in a proclamation. The vice president of the Tangshan Police Lubei branch, which was answerable for the underlying treatment of the case, has been eliminated from office, however the articulation didn't say why. 4 ladies eating at a late-night grill cafe were ruthlessly gone after by a gathering of men in the early long stretches of June 10, after one of the ladies seemed to dismiss the advances of one of the men and retaliated after she was slapped, observation video from the eatery showed. Germany gets back to coal. Germany should help the utilization of coal for power creation to compensate for the deficiency of gaseous petrol from Russia, Economy Minister Robert Habeck said in a strategy paper delivered on Sunday and referred to by Deutsche Welle. To diminish gas utilization, less gas should be utilized to create power. Coal-terminated power plants should be utilized more, all things being equal, the priest said in the paper. He despised the need to utilize more coal to create power, as Germany, alongside other EU states, has been doing whatever it takes to abridge utilization of the grimy fuel and move towards environmentally friendly power energy, be that as it may, as indicated by Habeck, the ongoing circumstance is excessively intense to be finicky. That is unpleasant, yet it's basically fundamental in this present circumstance to bring down gas utilization, he said. Berlin has been anxious to make energy creation in the nation sans coal by 2030, however in light of the current situation this objective might need to be changed. Germany to store gas media. Read more, Germany to accumulate gas media. The pastor likewise noticed that more gas ought to be brought into storage spaces, or it will be truly close in winter. Gas storerooms in Germany are around 57% full right now, as per the German media, referring to the Federal Network Agency. In the interim, as per the paper, the German Ministry of Economy is dealing with another guideline to lay out a gas substitution save by redesigning power plants to be transformed into stockpiling destinations. A few different systems are underway, including a gas closeout and a credit worth 15 billion euros, $15.74 billion, for the acquisition of extra gas. The pastor's assertions follow a choice by Russia's Gazprom to slice petroleum gas conveyances to Germany through the Nord Stream pipeline by 60% after German upkeep supplier Siemens neglected to return siphoning units after fixes because of approvals. Habeck, in any case, pummeled this choice as political and connected to pressures among Russia and the West over Moscow's tactical activity in Ukraine. It is clearly Russian President Vladimir Putin's technique to drive the energy costs up and partition us, he said in a different explanation to media last week. Israel's government fifth election in 3 years. Israel's different 8-party administering alliance will break down parliament before July, setting up one more round of decisions in the fall, Prime Minister Naftali Bennett reported Monday night. Bennett and Yair Lapid, the top of the moderate Yesh Atid party and ebb and flow unfamiliar clergyman, cobbled together an improbable alliance of gatherings across the philosophical range a year prior to one-seat Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's longest-serving state head. The new political decision, Israel's fifth in 3 years, will in all likelihood occur in October. When the Knesset, or parliament, votes to disintegrate the public authority, Lapid will take over as in-between time state head and serve until the political race. Netanyahu's conservative Likud party is the number one to win the most seats in the Knesset, however surveys recommend it could fall a couple of seats shy of a larger part. Netanyahu, who is being investigated on debasement allegations, cheered the breakdown of the Bennett-Fast government and anticipated he will get back to control. The Public Authority Alliance endured longer than certain experts had anticipated it would, and it figured out how to pass Israel's first financial plan in quite a while and consistent the country's unfamiliar relations. Its breakdown was hastened by surrenders from Bennett's hardline Yamina party and Arab individuals' resistance to recharging a regulation that classifies a 2-level overall set of laws for Israeli pioneers and Palestinians in the involved West Bank. The law must be re-established like clockwork, and dissolving parliament will keep it in force despite the fact that it neglected to pass. Bennett and Lapid mutually reported the choice to break down parliament, remaining on a similar stage in a demonstration of solidarity. Regardless of whether we're going to races in a couple of months, our difficulties as a state can hardly stand by, Lapid said. What we want to do today is return to the idea of Israeli solidarity. Not to allow dim powers to destroy us from the inside. Macron rejects Prime Minister May's resignation offer. French President Emmanuel Macron has dismissed a renunciation offer from the top state leader he selected, saying rather that the public authority must keep focused and act. Elizabeth Borne was scrutinized by certain pundits after Mr. Macron's alliance lost its larger part on Sunday. Her future looked under danger after the outcome, which left the president expecting to get support from rivals. He is set to meet his political rivals for intriguing discussions on Tuesday. Yet, neither Marine Le Pen's extreme right nor Jean-Luc Mélenchon's left-green collusion are quick to work with Mr. Macron's moderate government, which is 44 seats short of a larger part and frantically attempting to stay away from political loss of motion. The Élysée Castle said Ms. Borne officially proposed to leave on Tuesday morning, presenting a letter to Mr. Macron, the head of state, who turned it down. Mr. Macron declined the proposition so the public authority can stay on errand and act, the Élysée Castle said, adding that he would look for productive arrangements to finishing the gridlock that undermines his plan during his subsequent term. It is standard for the French head of the state to propose to leave following parliamentary races. Frequently, the president will basically reappoint a similar individual so the person in question can start developing another administration. Be that as it may, the circumstance is different this time, as Mr. Macron is advising Ms. Borne to remain in office with a similar bureau without leaving. It is most likely a work to delay, investigators propose, adding that sooner or later, another administration will be framed which might have Ms. Borne at its head. South Korea, North Korea said was prepared to talk. South Korea on Tuesday again stretched out a proposal of exchange to North Korea to ease current pressures in the Korean peninsula. Unification Minister Kwon Young-si said he is prepared to meet with his new North Korean partner Ri Sung-kwon anytime in any arrangement, Yonhap news agency detailed. A previous unfamiliar pastor was selected as head of North Korea's United Front Department, UFD, which is responsible for cross-line relations, on June 11. I will put in more effort to move the presently chilled between Korean ties into a period of discourse, Kwon, who himself took office last month, said at his most memorable news gathering. In February, previous South Korean President Moon Jae-in likewise offered exchange to North Korean pioneer Kim Jong-un. Before Moon, the US likewise said drawing in Pyongyang in unqualified dialogue was willing. Nonetheless, North Korea didn't answer either offer. Since last year, strains have taken off on the Korean peninsula as both Seoul and Pyongyang have sloped up drills to flaunt their military may.